Well, everybody, welcome to Muscular Development's finals report from the Empro Pro in Alicante, Spain. Michael Krizanek, smashing victory. Talking about it right now with my man in the UK, Giles Tiger Thomas. Behind the scenes, Jen Gerizi running the show. Giles, you called this. You called this a few hours ago. Didn't take a rocket scientist, but KRIZO, man, this is not just the same KRIZO from last year, who probably could have won this anyway, but it was a much improved Michael KRIZO that we saw today. So let's start. Jen, if we could roll KRIZO's posing routine, let's talk about KRIZO, the man of the hour. Okay, so it's like a 2-second one. Yeah, there he is getting his award. Yeah, Giles, look at this guy. This guy's no joke.
Absolutely incredible. He absolutely went to another level. He obviously paid a lot of attention to what happened at the Olympia. And they kept saying on the commentator, they said he'd made top 10 at the Olympia. It's like, no, he wasn't. He was 12th. But still, I mean, he's still obviously the highest placed guy there. But this was a much more refined, much more polished, much more conditioned, much more separated KRIZO. And I mean, his posing routine, and you know what? I think that readable bicep is it's going to go. I think in a couple more years, I think that's going to be up to like a Phil Heath level, because it's his shoulders and his arms and his back as well that completely blows your mind. I mean, I was freaking out. I think Lauren was filming me slyly with her phone when I was going crazy when he hit his readable bicep. It's so impressive. And it's so nice to see that level of size development, condition, separation, stripiness. I'm absolutely blown away. He really listened to the critics last year, and I think that's really good. Obviously, going to pay in his favor now. And like you said, Ron, he's only done that in 6 months. So, and all he had to do was just get better condition, better back. The midsection looks good. The only thing his tan was perfect, and I think the only thing he needs to work on now is his posing. Just general, like the way Nick Walker holds his poses when he's in the compulsories. He holds them and he stays in the pose. He's the first in, the last out, very composed. He needs to get like that, because when he's doing the amateurish thing, when he hits the most muscular, he's looking down at himself, and he's looking at himself because he's probably just freaking out how he looks, But he needs to stop doing that, because I think that could, these little details will cost him at the Olympia. As for the Olympia, I think I don't just think top 10. I actually think he's a potential top 6 guy now.
If he made those improvements in this span of time, he now has almost another 6 months. He has 5 months left to almost the Olympia. And he was one of those guys that we've seen so many people over the years, bodybuilders with shoulders and arms that totally dwarf their back in the rear double bicep. And a year ago, that's the vibe I was getting from KRIZO's physique. And people were saying, well, he's never going to get a back good enough that'll be worthy of a top 5, top 6 Olympia. He's going to be one of these guys that's all hype and doesn't deliver. And already he's delivered today. Like I said, this is for him to show up in this kind of condition when he didn't even need to. Totally locked it out. I like the split screen that they did with the pay-per-view. That was a nice
Very
touch.
good. I like that. I did like that.
Like a Brian De Palma movie, but for the film nerds out there. Yeah. So KRIZO, stunning victory. I'm sure it was a perfect score on the score sheets, as we'll see.
Yeah,
but let's run down. Second place from Italy, Andrea Presti. Andrea looked really good, and as you say, he has a track record of coming in better for the finals. He only had a few hours. This is one of those shows where I think 4 hours is all that went by, maybe between time he left the stage and he came back. What do you think these guys do in 4 hours to tighten up so much?
Sometimes I remember, I forget who I spoke to, but I think I messaged Milos or one of the coaches, and I said, "So what is so and so doing from there to the finals?" And they said nothing much. They're just eating and drinking and relaxing, and they're not eating anything spectacular. They're just eating their normal food. It's just, I think, as the day goes on, like when you're competing, you're always your heaviest, your lightest when you wake up, and you kind of fill out as the day goes on. I think it's just a case of that. I think they just fill out as the day goes on, as the food goes in. But Presti, yeah, I was actually like, it was like when we first saw Hadi come out at the Olympia last year. When he first came out, I was like, oh, he's off. It was not disappointing, but I thought, oh, he's blown it. And then as the prejudging wore on, as the day wore on, the same with Presti, he just got harder and fuller and better and better and better. And his posing routine was fantastic. He's such a good poser. He puts a lot of effort into his posing routines. And I didn't realize, actually, when he actually put him next to KRIZO in the final comparison, that final round when they were moved right next to each other, he's not that much smaller. He's as wide and like kind of physically big as KRIZO. He just like, he hasn't got the arms, he hasn't got the the triceps, the calves, the legs, but actually physically, like, the shoulders and the shoulder width and the actual size of him, he compared really well to KRIZO. I thought he was going to get blown off the stage, but he didn't. He compared really, really well. And like I said, he just got better and better. The more he posed, the more the day went on, he just got better. And by the night show, I thought, okay, because I thought it was a flip of a coin between him and Wellington for second. But when I saw him at the night show, I was like, absolutely, Presti has got second here tonight.
So people are asking the placings. Obviously, KRIZO is first, Andrea Presti second, Wellington Nascau, Wellington Fernando Bautista from Brazil third, Jose Manuel Munoz. He said he's 21 years old. Is that right?
21 years old. And the thing is, Ron, he's still technically, I mean, if he was an amateur, he'd be a junior for another 2 years.
That's right. Yeah, that's crazy. Junior division goes up.
What a superstar for the future that kid is. 21 years old, fourth, and he had a solid. I had him fourth place all day long. I mean, I called the top five. I put it on the WhatsApp group tonight, and I had the top five exactly as it was. Wow. And but that 21-year-old, really good-looking kid. He must be absolutely over the moon with that. So, yeah, really good condition, fantastic hamstrings, great back development. Really, just imagine him in a couple more years. He's going to be sensational.
Yeah, and just out of the top four was Roman Fritz. A lot of people were wondering where Roman would end up.
Yeah,
because it was, it's always a lot of times fifth, sixth, seventh. That's always kind of a murky area. Because the guys have things that the other ones don't, and that's sometimes for the judges the toughest placings to determine is fourth, fifth, and sixth. Or sorry, fifth, sixth, and seventh. But can we take a look at? Let's go to Presti if we could for a second. His routine, Jen. Give him a little more love from Italy there.
Great poser.
Andrea Presti. Not to be confused with who's the other Andrea? Muzzi.
Muzzi, yeah. Muzzi and Presti.
And then there's another one in physique with named Andrea as well. Mozilla or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of Andreas.
And Ryu. Andy Ryu, the men's physique.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the final comparison of the confirmation round. Yeah, you can see. Yeah. There we go. There's Presti. Yeah, I mean, those delts, the back, the chest. The only thing that KRIZO really out muscles him on, which he does for everybody's arms. Presti does not have small arms, but KRIZO's arms make other people's arms look small in comparison.
Not others. He makes all competitors' arms look small. I mean, the only one I think he wouldn't look small next to is Phil Heath or Rolly Winkler in terms of arm thickness. I think he has the best arms in bodybuilding right now.
I agree, and because not just the size, but you said, split striations, deep separations. I'm never a fan of huge arms when there's not much muscle separation going on. It's not as impressive. But KRIZO,
you know what I liked when he hit his most muscular, his hands clasped? I couldn't believe the separation between the tricep, the brachialis, and the bicep. It was as sharp as it can get. I mean, those little things, those like delt separations, I go crazy for, because so often now a lot of the pros are putting so much crap into their biceps, their triceps, their delts. They lose all that condition, all that separation, and when they flex, nothing happens. It just looks like a big swollen ball. But KRIZO has absolutely put nothing in any of that area, and I really applaud him for that.
So back on screen. Yeah, you just don't see a lot of that. You don't see. This is why, when you're saying top five, top six, there's just so few men in the IFBB Pro League, even at the Olympia level, they have all these attributes in one physique. Yeah. There are guys who have this much size, but they don't have that level of separation. Some of them have, dodgy body parts where there's really no definition in certain areas where you're wondering,
I've been messaging Alexander, his coach, just through the day, saying, I think he's got this, mate. He's got this easy. And he went, well, hope so. We will have a good outcome. I said, no, mate, he's won it. And as soon as KRIZO won, I messaged him, congratulations. And I'm going to message him later, and I'm going to say, Alexander, can you get the few seconds of where he hits his readable bicep and moves into it and put it as like a boomerang or a GIF or something onto his Instagram, because that's the thing that really I'm going to take away, that I'm never going to forget from this show, is when he hit that rear double bicep. I just completely lost my shit.
That was his worst pose last year.
Yeah, it was.
It went from terrible is being a little outrageous, but it went from a very weak pose for him to this is one of his strongest poses, and you say
There you
in
are.
a year or two, this could be the greatest rear delt bicep in the sport. Who knows? If he continues improving his back at this rate,
Yeah.
wow. I mean,
Oh,
because
yeah.
if
Yeah.
for it to match, you look at him from the front, look at those shoulders, the chest, everything. If the once the back is exactly at that level, you know, the sky's the limit for
And
KRIZO.
it was only really KRIZO and Jose, the 21-year-old, that had real like crisp conditioning in the back. You know that side camera shot on the side here. You could when it zoomed in on their rear shots, you could see who was really in condition from the back. Because remember when like Dorian Yates, Kevin Avrone, Sean Ray, they would all hit those Ronnie Coleman in '98, you know, like '99. When he hit those riddle biceps, their skin was so tight and the separation. But so many of these guys didn't have, like when they zoomed in from that side angle, so many of them weren't in condition from the back. They were very soft from the back. But KRIZO, you know, with all that size and thickness, managed to get his skin that paper thin. You know, I mean, this was probably one of this is the most outright victory I think I've seen for quite some time.
Only for this season so far.
Yeah,
We've already had a good amount of shows. There's, you know, there's 120 shows left, I believe, but it's like
And
5 shows.
Jed, we've got to do all of them.
Yeah. Huh?
Lucky us.
Bring it on! Bring it on!
So, Jen, if we could pull up Wellington, this is exciting because this is NASCAR.
Yes.
Again, he wasn't really on my radar. I'd heard of him, but I was away. I was out of the country.
Here we go.
Didn't cover Arnold Brazil with you guys. So
On
this
screen.
was really today was my first really good look at Wellington.
Amazing.
The very common first name in Brazil is Wellington, as you know.
Fantastic. Fantastic Moscow. He's steadily making improvements in every show I've seen him in. He's really great competitor. I think he's going to get one of these pro shows before the cutoff. I really do.
In a way, I hope he doesn't qualify for the Olympia, because I'd like to see him go to the Olympia and actually make an impact. Because I think if he qualified for the Olympia this year, I think he's going to be one of those guys that doesn't place in the top 15. But I would love to see him like get maybe a second or something, and then come back next year and, you know, potentially be a guy that cracks the top 15.
Yeah, I mean,
Good
I'm sure a lot of his fans.
Good points.
Some of his fans are going to be upset that you said that, because they're saying, "What do you mean you don't want him in the Olympia this year? How dare you?"
Yeah, he's fresh. He's fresh. Give him time. Give him time. Give him time.
Giles hates Moscow.
He needs a bit of time to fill it up a body. But my God, in a couple of years, he could be an absolute world beater.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a couple more open shows in Brazil, muscle contest shows, that he could probably sweep if he wanted to. But yeah, I wonder what he'll do, because they all want to go to the Olympia. But yeah, I see what you're saying. Mm-hmm. He's definitely someone to keep a very, very close eye on. I didn't know he was this good.
And it's funny, Ron, because when I saw that video of him backstage, I just thought he looks so small. He's going to get completely annihilated. And it's funny, those guys with the really nice shape and lines and crisp separation and the quality physiques, you know, they're not the big mindless kind of sort of shapeless physiques. These guys with the really, really nice shapes and lines, they still, I like the fact that they can still come in and really be a factor in shows as big as this one.
You know, but we're both posing snobs. I like the fact that he takes his time, hits the poses, holds the poses, nice transitions. It gives you more of an opportunity to appreciate the physique than sometimes they just do bam, 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 a million poses, and they try to cram 30 poses into 60 seconds, and half of them are just crab most musculars. But yeah, this guy's great. Look at those calves.
He's really impressed me. He's definitely one of the most exciting newcomers of 2023.
Yeah, for sure. If we could take a look at the youngster, 21 years old, Jose Manuel Muniz. They have a nickname. What are they all calling him in the chat?
Jose the Beast. I've just started following on Instagram. I've been liking his posts when we're watching the live stream.
They call him Josema
the Beast.
Okay, Josema the Beast. Wow.
Yeah. 21.
So this whole muscle maturity thing turns out to be a big myth, because we've discussed that before. Yeah, look at the back development already. That's an area you don't see developed on guys that age. Typically,
definitely not.
They're still trying to bring their backs up.
Ron, yeah. Can you see his hamstrings from the back? Have you seen them? Have a look. If you can get close enough, you can look in close enough.
Well, right now I'm looking at the hams from the side. He's got a very nice sweep or drop, as we say. Frustrations in the triceps. Okay, it's a loop.
It's a loop.
Yeah.
This guy is so marketable as well. He's so marketable. He's such a good-looking kid. I mean, he's really got. I mean, I bet some of the Spanish supplement companies are going to be absolutely
Jumped on
falling
the
over
scale
themselves to get that guy on board now.
I wonder if they, Brazil, the supplement companies in Brazil, they really go crazy and pay these guys well. I hope this kid picks up a nice sponsorship as well.
21. Incredible.
Yeah.
Probably still lives at home.
Yeah, because it's. I mean that's the appeal of a lot. Well, Spain, I think that's actually the culture. Italy and Spain, Greece, I think it's pretty common to live at home until you get married.
I got buried out when I was 18.
Yeah, well, left at 21, but didn't want to stick around. Yeah, those hamstrings are all dug out. Nice and look like steel cables back there.
And again, the old muscle maturity argument goes out the window with this kid.
Yeah. So here's, shape and everything. He just, he needs to fill out a little bit, obviously. But the fact that he did this well, I bet he's giving up 30, 40 pounds to Presti and KRIZO easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
And it was a solid 4th place. And you think about some of the guys he beat: Peter Clancier, Joan Pradel, Iamiro Maragic. These guys are experienced, really high quality competitors. And it was a clear. I had him 4th place all day long. It seemed really, really clear cut to me.
Cool. If we could take a look at Roman Fritz. Roman's done a lot of shows lately, hasn't he? The last couple of years.
Yeah, he was in Prague. He did Romania when we did the live stream. He was over there. I think he looked a tad better at the shows I saw him at. Well, I think it was Romania and Prague. He looked just slightly sharper there because I think it's certainly in his back shots. That was the only area where I felt like he could have been a bit more crisp and separated. But I think he will get that because if he does more shows, I anticipate him doing Spain, Portugal. But I've got a funny feeling Presti's going to win Portugal because I think he's going to because he won it there last year, if you remember.
Okay.
And and then Lauren interviewed him for MD, and I've got a feeling he's going to go back there and to get a second win, defend his win.
It's funny because he's one of those guys who set such a high standard for himself in terms of the condition that he's consistently been showing us over the past couple of years. If he's off that by a couple percentage, we'll just say it's easy to just say, oh, I've seen him better. But still, very, very good condition here. Very clean separation. Yeah, it's funny. You see a lot of it on the Instagram. On their Instagram, they've been putting it up. You see the detail a little bit better on that. It's almost like a Gilco video. Shout out to Gilco. But Roman, nice shape on him. Beautiful shape on him.
Yeah. I remember for all those years, he was just coming in shredded, but like small. But he still did okay because even when he was a lot smaller, because he didn't seem to get any bigger for years and years and years, but he still did pretty okay. He made top 5s, top 6, and a lot of good high quality shows. And then last year, when I couldn't believe it when he did Romania, if you watched the live stream, when my reaction was like, holy shit, I can't believe how much bigger Roman Fritz is this year. So whatever he did last year to this year, he's finally cracked the code of putting on more size and kind of, to sort of do better in competitions.
I can't remember what had happened to him. He had some medical issue or car accident. Roman had been through. Can't remember what had happened to him, but there was something that he had to come back from a couple of years ago.
Was it? Oh, hip surgery.
Hip surgery. There you go.
Yeah, he had hip replacements.
Oh, hip replacement. Well, there you go.
I'm pretty sure that's right. I apologize if I'm not right, but I heard he had hip surgery on both.
Yeah, that's right. Now that you say it, that's I couldn't remember, but not many guys come back in bodybuilding from a hip replacement, which I believe he's had it replaced.
Yeah,
that's pretty amazing.
Too much squatting.
Too much squatting.
Squatting and thrusting.
So I think we've covered that. You want to take a look at the Classic Physique Awards? This was German Pastor was the winner.
Clear win.
German Pastor Cueto from right there in Spain. Again, I was vaguely aware. I've heard the name a few times, but until I got a really good look at him today and the pictures and the videos, very impressive. I think he definitely has. Here we go. Top. I'm not going to say 6 or 10, but this is a guy that could make an impact at the Olympia, and that's saying a lot because they had 59 men in Classic at the Olympia last year.
Ron, someone's asking about what Paolo Pizzini is asking what time the final is going to be. You missed it. Just been over. KRIZO won. Yay!
KRIZO won, yeah. So because this is happening, they wrapped up the finals about 20, 30 minutes ago. or less. And this is in Spain, which is, I don't know where you are, Paula. It's 6 hours ahead of me here in Jen in the East Coast of the USA, an hour ahead of him. Yeah, look at German, man. Yeah, I mean, that's classic right there. Just beautiful shape, proportion, symmetry. Oh, that's not him. I'm sorry. He's going to be in the middle in a second. Short
That's
form.
fifth place.
That was a fifth place guy. Yeah, I should have remembered what German looked like. I just saw him on Instagram about 20 minutes ago. But like I said.
After this, Ron, can we go back quickly to some of the guys who didn't make top 5? I'd like to comment on.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
So you got
Presti was second.
how many? 2,000 euros? Is this euros, dollars? I don't know what money. I believe Spain's on the euro, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't everybody except for the UK is on the euro?
Correct.
You guys are still on the pound sterling or the pound note or something? I don't know.
Correct.
Wow, look at that. So, yeah. Congratulations, German. This guy, tremendous delts on him. Great V-taper, great quads. Yeah. Congratulations. Have you seen German competing before in person, Giles?
Yeah, I've seen him a couple of times. I've seen him. I've done live stream. I can't remember. Maybe it was one of the, because I've done a few Spain shows. I've done Romania. I've done Prague. He's done quite a few of those. I mean, I can't remember which ones, but I have seen him on stage. But this was the best I've seen him because, you know, he was a standout winner in this, and this was a really, really stacked classic show. I mean, obviously, a lot of the classic shows now are very, very high quality, but this was a clear win.
Yeah, this guy next to him has to be a full foot taller than everybody else up there. Got to be one of those.
I like the tall guy. He was good.
Yeah, you know, I would like this Junior Jaworski. He was in the show, right? But he didn't get first call out.
Second call out.
He's one of the better taller guys that I've seen in classic in a very long time.
Yeah, he's good.
Wesley's very, very good. Where's Wes? What's Wesley up to lately?
He was there at the show. He was there at the show.
Okay, there you go.
He was milling about, looking absolutely massive.
Yeah, 400 pounds.
Yeah, he's got Urs Kalasinski's weighing scales.
He's been on the Urs program apparently. Yeah.
422.
I got a message. I have to message Urs and find out what he really weighs because that was ridiculous.
I know. Come on, Urs, stop trolling.
Some iffery going on with those numbers. So, yeah, I mean, it's always fun. You know, I'm a shorter guy, so I can say it, but it's always funny seeing someone just towering over a lineup like that.
How tall do you think he is? 6'3"?
If let's just assume the German is like an average height guy, like 5'8", 5'9".
Mm-hmm.
I would say that guy next to him has to be all of 6'3". Has to be.
Yeah, he's a big dude, isn't he?
Yeah, you can see the top of German's head just kind of clears the top of that guy's shoulder.
I saw that guy that was is he 6'8"? He did I think he did Romania or Prague a couple of years ago. He was 6 foot something, and he had a really good, and also he had really good legs, which is unbelievable when you think about how tall. I mean, anyone over 6 foot that has good legs, I really take my hat off. Like Jamie the Giant. I mean, my God, his legs are incredible, and he's 6'5". Yeah,
because you know I see those people squatting, the tall guys, and I always say it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. AC/DC reference for the three of you who got that.
Shorties, they bend their legs and they're on the floor.
Well, okay, so we're looking at the second call out, guys. This will be these 5th through 10th place guys, because top 4 is what they were really focusing on in the first call out and the very last call out. But it's okay, Giles. So who are we looking at here in the 5th through 10th spots?
It's not on the screen yet.
Oh, okay. It is. it's on YouTube right now.
Yeah, it's just, oh, here it is now. Yeah, okay.
Peter.
Right, okay, so you've got Emil, oh, sorry, you've got, I can't see who that is on the right. Is that Christian Wolski on the far right? No, Emir Umaragic is on the far right. He looked a lot better as the day went on. When he first came out, he looked, I mean, he just looked way out. But he actually looked a lot better for the night show. So whatever he did to tighten up from the judging to the night show, he looked a lot more like the Emir we know. But I think I'd like to see him do, maybe, if Portugal's in 2-3 weeks, I think he needs to go do that, because he needs to drop 6 to 8 pounds, get really nice and crispy. I think he could do it in 2 weeks, possibly, if he really knuckled down and didn't do any traveling. But I think because this wasn't the best Emir is like a sort of, he should have been a lot higher if he'd have been in his best condition. We've got Peter Clancier. Peter looked better at the night show, but I think I'm guessing he would have been around about 7th place. And I tell you what, that Jean Pradels, I think half the people that were there watching were his fans. Seriously, I could by the way that they were, I could see in the pose down the way they were filming him and reacting to him, and the guys with the t-shirts. I honestly think half the people that were there that bought tickets were there for him.
I wonder if he's from that particular region of Spain, so it would have been, no problem for 300-400 of his closest friends, family, and fans to just head on over there.
I mean, he's got a huge following, huge YouTube following. He's kind of like a European Chris Bumstead, He's
Wow.
They penned him as like the Spanish Jay Cutler because he's only 24.
Wow, yeah, he's the one in. He's the one in the very light. I don't know if you call that what would you call that color? Jeez, he's third from the right. I don't know what color that is.
Yeah, that's him. And I think he was 6th.
Okay.
I've got a feeling he would have been. I think he would have been 6th at lowest 7th, but he looked really, really good. And I think and he made major improvements over from last year. But there's another guy like Jose that got 4th, the 21-year-old, that's going to really, really make waves in this next year or two. He's got everything there. He's a bit harder from the back, but overall, huge improvement since last year. So, like I said, watch out for this guy.
And then next to him in the navy blue, that is Christian Wolski from Poland, I believe.
I think so. Sorry, my screen's really small. Christian, I was disappointed with Christian. He looked really, because I interviewed him on Global last week, and he said he was coming in on the Friday. And I said, well, don't you want to get there a few days early and get your food? And it looked like he just looked flat and soft. And he just looked kind of like nothing was popping. And I've seen him better than that. In fact, when I saw him guest pose in Poland 2 weeks ago, I saw some video. He looked a lot better there. A lot better. He was fuller. He was harder. He just looked so flat and depleted for this. So wow. I hope he does more shows because I think at his best, he's a top 5 guy in any pro show.
Well, anytime you have someone on Global, we want them to win the next week, because that really.
Yeah, of course you do. Yeah, well, no, I was disappointed because his legs looked good, but his body just wasn't. It looked lifeless. Nothing was really popping when he was flexing. And I know this guy's physique well. I've seen it in the flesh. I saw him when he turned pro back in 2018, and I know that he can do better than this. But he looked very. I don't know whether he overdid the water depletion or whatever, or didn't carb up enough. But yeah, he missed the mark here. But I'd like to see him do more shows so he has the opportunity to get it right.
Fair enough. Anybody else up there you want to comment on in this second call out group?
No, you got Roman Fritz there, second from the left. Obviously, he took 5th place. He looked really, really good. We've already discussed him. Yeah. And the guy on the left, I forgot his name now, but what a beautiful poser. Wow. I remember we saw him. I remember Laura and myself were doing the live stream. I think it was either Prague or Romania. And I looked over when the pose, and Laura was tears streaming down her face watching him pose. It was such a powerful performance, Well, and I always have a good pose routine if I look over and she's wiping the tears away.
Well, it must be either Jorge Zamorano Avila or Vicente Santamaria, because we've talked about everybody else. So it's one of those two.
Oh, Pradels. Someone's telling me that Pradels is 26. Well, either way, he's absolutely awesome. And I think he's got a huge future.
Absolutely. Let's see if there's anything in the chat that we want to address.
And I hope he speaks English because I have DM'd him, but he hasn't messaged me back yet to come on Global. So sort your English out, message me back, and get your ass on Global.
Speaking of that, you just had Yang Siop. Oh, what's his whole name? Yop Sung Jang.
Yop. Mass 212.
His English is great. I had no idea. The whole time in New York, I was like, I'll interview him, and I'm like, nah, he didn't speak English. It's gonna be a hassle. And
I was messaging him back and forth, and he was like, his English was perfect written. And then he said, I said, do you want to come on Global? I'd really like to get you on, because Milos sent me his number, and I messaged him direct on WhatsApp. And he says, oh, yeah, can we do it next week? He said, when I'm home or something. He says, but can I have my friend as a I think, see, that's his friend and trainer. And I think it was, yes, he needed a little bit of help sometimes, but I think he just wanted to give his friend some credit and some acknowledgement. And I think he felt more comfortable with his mate there helping him along, So it actually worked out for the best, actually, because it was a really, really good interview. Lauren was, because she did the producing for me that day. And I said, because I always take the headphones off. And the first thing I say, how was that? What, give me a feedback. And she said, Giles, that was a really, really good interview. She goes, I really enjoyed that one. And I've had a really good response as well on the comments and DMs on that one. So they really appreciated it.
All right. So let's go to the chat.
Satisfying.
Paul Straza says, "Ya terminó." Is it over? Yes, it's been over for a while. KRIZO, Roman was fifth. Yeah, was fifth. Great placing for him. Yeah, who got second? Presti, we know that. Look good, just got out muscle. In what place was Josema? We already said that. Josema is Jose Manuel Muniz was fourth.
21. Incredible.
Happy Father's Day, thank you.
Incredible.
I'll eat some food later. Wellington, Dexter, Jackson. Are they comparing Wellington to Dexter, it looks like? Okay.
Well, he's got a beautiful shape. I think he's got one of the nicest genetic shapes I think I've seen for a while. And I think that's what carried him through as well as his conditioning. But I tell you what, when that guy fills out his upper body a little bit more, especially the back, he is going to be, I mean, he's already getting seconds and thirds in Arnold Brazil, third here. He's already a factor in big shows. So can you imagine in another year or two? I think he's going to be, he'll be up there with Rafael Brandao as well, you know, as you know, Brazil's absolute best athletes.
Always been killing it. Yeah, that's why the new talent is usually more exciting because they do improve from season to season, often dramatically. Whereas the established guys who've been competing as pros for 7, 8, 10, 12 years, they're not really changing at that point. But we need them in the sport too until they're ready to go. Wellington's third.
Well, Rafael's only been around since 2017.
Rafael Brandao?
Yeah, 2017 San Marino. Do you remember that show I mentioned once or twice?
I believe you mentioned a couple times. That was Cedric. I think I can even name the top 5 because you've talked about it so much.
There was 30 guys in the open.
Cedric was first. Hadi Chupan was second, correct?
Yeah.
Was third Brandon?
Yep.
Brandon Curry. Was Rolly Winkler fourth?
No, Rolly wasn't in it.
Oh, damn. Oh, well, I only got the top 3, but I wasn't there. KRIZO could pose better. He's shaking a bit too much. Well, he's getting better. He's
making improvements.
Greg Ulysse up in Canada.
Out. That was 2 things he needed to sort out urgently. So so the thing is, if these are the guys that can actually respond this fast to critique and implement it and sort it out, can you imagine? Like someone was saying, a few people were saying he needs like thicker glutes because his glutes were conditioned, but you can see he's kind of got what I see as like leg press legs. You know the guys that don't squat, they just like to do hack squat and leg press and stuff like that. You know the guys that don't like to do the heavy squatting. Maybe I've got back issues or something. Or sure, maybe his arms are too big to get into the bar or something. I don't know.
No, can't reach.
But yeah, he can't reach. Maybe he's too big. Maybe it's really uncomfortable for him. But I think yeah. I mean, to be really nitpicky, he would benefit from slightly thicker glutes because when he gets up to the Olympia and there's guys like Hadi and Derek Lunsford and stuff like that, who've got the really dug out hams and glutes. I mean, Samson really improved his glutes and his hams, do you know what I mean? And obviously see how much he moved up. But like I said, when you get to the Olympia, these small details will add up. But these are things he can work on in the next 5 months. So it's going to be funny seeing KRIZO doing like glute kickbacks, on a, doing a wellness glute routine.
I was saying maybe they
it will benefit him.
They should do a collaboration with him and some wellness pro, training. She can. Obviously, they know all about building the glutes, don't they? That's
there you go. There you go. That'd be a good video as well. That'd be a good video to watch.
I'll watch that video. Jeez. KRIZO, how much money? I think it was $10,000. Was it a $10,000 prize for first? 10. Yeah, most shows are 10,000. That's like standard. It's been standard for 30 years or so.
I definitely see Presti qualifying. I think I got a feeling. I think, like I said, I think he'll qualify in Portugal. And then we need to look at the other shows. But things he's still going to have other guys jumping in as well. But I tell you what, this has definitely been. I think this has been the best contested European show I've seen for quite some time.
It was the lineup was conditioned right down the line. I think from what I've seen, the first 2 callouts, everybody nailed the condition. Everybody. Let's see, Mark says I don't like Presti's shoulder, especially the side delts. 0 separation when he's flexing them.
Who? Sorry, who?
Presti, he claims he doesn't see any separation in Presti's delts, side delts.
Yeah, thing is, when in the readable bicep, you look at his delts compared to KRIZO's, and they're physically probably the same size, but KRIZO's is just, they were so dug out and so detailed. And me, one thing I like to see in a readable bicep is I like to be able to count the 3 heads of the shoulders. I don't want to just see one big mass, like when Flex Wheeler started putting all that crap in his shoulders, and it was just all like one big mass. They look better when they're kind of smaller and tight. And I would love to see that on Presti. I think, but the thing is, his shoulders are so massive. I mean, if he's putting gear in there, he really needs to stop doing that.
Problem is, where are you going to put all the gear, guy? Yeah, that's the problem we run into.
Your ass.
Maybe KRIZO needs to start putting more in his butt. I don't know. Problem solved.
You know that someone's going to do a soundbite of that, mate.
That's fine. It's gonna copy. KRIZO, yeah, another person commenting on KRIZO shaking when he poses, which, that's just a matter of more posing practice, just putting more time and effort into the posing. Greg released the show was way stronger than Toronto. Oh my goodness, come on now. not even a comparison. Yes.
Valier was 11th at Olympia. KRIZO was 12th at Olympia.
Yep.
If the Olympia was today and Valier and KRIZO were in there, who do you think would beat who?
Ian's going to get mad, but KRIZO would beat him. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So KRIZO has actually, he's moving up. So he's already, if you look at the ranking, we use the Olympia as the rankings. So already he's moving ahead of the guy that placed ahead of him at the Olympia.
Yeah.
I
knew KRIZO was going to get better. I knew that wasn't he wasn't going to be one of those all hype guys who were like, oh, why are we all wasting our breath talking about this guy last year? He's not getting any better. He's already getting better.
One thing is, though, he's improving very, very fast. I mean, he's improving probably as fast as Samson did in the last 18 months. So, I mean, who's to say KRIZO couldn't, get in a call out with someone like Samson? Because I think Samson's going to be up in the top 3 this year. And I think KRIZO's going to be in the top 6. So it's going to be likely that we're going to get to see KRIZO next to Samson.
I hope so. Ooh. I mean, yeah. It's the improvements Samson made was mostly in raw size. He did have some areas he improved in the back, the glutes, but KRIZO never needed more size except in the back. Overall size, he was done. But he's really, really just refining all that mass and just chiseling it up.
Thing is, when I saw KRIZO come out in Prague, when I was sat there in the live stream when he first came out, I just saw his midsection. I thought, oh no, his midsection doesn't look good. It looked blocky and soft and smooth, and there was no detail. And he's already rectified that in just a few months. So imagine what he can do in another 5 months. Okay, then. So Rafael Brandao was 10th at Olympia. Would he beat Rafael?
100%.
So already KRIZO's now a top 10 Olympia guy.
Yeah, I mean, to look at the way he looked today, and if anyone tries to say no, if he's not making top 10 Olympia, come on. I mean, he was much worse last year, and he almost made top 10 last year.
Yep,
way better now.
This show has been a really, really. The attention and the hype around KRIZO in this last year and a half, even before he turned pro. I remember I wrote that feature in MD. Like I was saying, I said, guys, you're talking about him being a potential Mr. Olympia. He hadn't even turned pro yet. And look what he's done in less than a year later.
Yeah, I mean, I love seeing that because people think, oh, it takes years and years. You got to pay your dues and this and that. Andrew Jacked, we saw what he did last year. We saw what KRIZO has done in a year's time. I think it was around this time last year when he turned pro, wasn't it? Or maybe a little later.
Yeah, I think it was July, wasn't it? July, August. No, pretty much.
Turned pro for the second time. Turned pro in the pro league.
I tell you who I am looking forward to seeing is the Olympia is, like I said before, is Andrew Jacked and KRIZO, because those were the two two big guys last year. But now KRIZO's moving up. And I think Andrew Jacked will probably look the best he's ever looked when he competes in a couple of months. So I'm looking forward to maybe pitching an article to MD, KRIZO versus Jacked at the Olympia, who beats who. And if you don't let me do it, I'll write about it in my column.
Oh, why wouldn't we let you do it? Come on now.
Okay.
I love reading your stuff.
Deal.
I'm tired of reading all my own articles. I like reading Giles' articles. So Paolo Pizzini, I think Presti will do all the shows from now on till he does not qualify. So I think he means till he does qualify. Rudy Soto is confirming that Roman did have a hip replacement. Paolo, what time the final is going to be? It's all over, Paolo. You missed it. It's all over. So just rewind this.
We have sangria.
Yeah. Sorry to yeah, I mean, it does seem odd that because especially if someone's watching on the East in the US, they can't believe that a show's already over. It's 2 PM here, but you gotta realize time. The world has all these different time zones. It's like different times in different parts of the world. It's crazy.
I mean, I really didn't mind staying up to do this one.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's what is it, 7 o'clock for you now? Yeah, 7 o'clock at night. It is 4:10 AM in Brisbane, Australia right now. I can tell you that. Yeah. Junior comes home in 8 days. Let's see what time final. So same old Presti. Oi second. Yes, Oi is today. He was second today. Final is done. Final is finished. Cristo, Presti, Wellington. Oh, now they're calling him Presti Wellington. Oh, Presti.
Wellington.
It's like a hyphen. Like they're two. Like they're just two. Like a couple.
I saw that.
We were up too early today.
And they spell Presti with a Y, which is, we could try that. Almost dying. Oh, and apparently Roman almost died after the hip surgery. He must have gotten some infection or something. I didn't know that.
Wow, fair play.
I
need to get Roman on Global as well.
Yeah, you did have him on a couple of years ago, didn't you?
No, I've never had him on. I've messaged him back and forth. We spoke. He's one of those ones that it's not that he's been evasive. He messages back. We've just not managed to nail and pin him down. But tell you what, that guy has got a hell of a fan base.
Oh yeah,
incredible.
We'll be doing coverage for other shows that he's not even part of, and they'll start talking about him in the chat.
Yeah, they're like, what about?
They're all asking about Roman Fritz even before the show started.
I'm going to get him on. I think he's somebody I'm interested in talking to now.
Good deal.
Global Low.
Who's Pradell that they're talking about now?
People are already mentioning Nick Walker and Andrew Jack versus KRIZO now. Wow. No offense, this is built to laugh. No offense, Andrew would smoke KRIZO. Should have smoked overrated Nick Walker, but politics and hype, you know how it goes.
Wait, are you reading this from the chat?
This is right down the bottom.
Oh boy, I didn't get that far. Most Muscular from Wellington.
And he's also said, I like KRIZO over Nick Walker, but I guess Nick Walker got fans. Hype, I guess that plays a role.
It doesn't really, guys. It really doesn't.
Nick Walker is. I'm not the biggest Nick Walker fan, but he is bloody awesome. I do accept that.
But I say this totally. I'm not being paid to say this or anything, but the judging is so much more fair and impartial than it was many, many years ago. I don't think your Instagram following matters. Your sponsor matters. If you train at the head judge's gym, I don't think any of that stuff matters anymore. Whereas in years past, it seemed to factor in fairly often.
Whoa, hang on. They said that when Lee Haney went with Twin Lab in 91, that meant that he was going to lose the Olympia, and he lost the muscularity round to Dorian Yates, but he still won it decisively. So even then, that politics argument doesn't stand up.
Well, it's a subjectively judged sport. It's judged more like a beauty pageant than it is, somewhere where you get the ball through into the net or past the line. It's not like that. So whenever your guy that you idolize doesn't win, it's easy to start looking for excuses and looking for conspiracy theories. But more often than not, KRIZO needs a
Rod, I would like to say I was robbed many times that I competed. It was definitely then. In that case,
my late mother used to think I was robbed at every show that I didn't win. So God bless her, mother. Yeah. Can you explain why Josema got fourth and Joan was out of the first call-out?
It was better.
There you go.
Clear, but I tell you what, Joan, though, I think Joan was, like I said, until I haven't seen the score sheets will be out probably tomorrow morning, but I would imagine that Joan Pradell got sixth place, and sixth place in a lineup like that, beating guys like Peter Clancy and Emir Omaragic and Christian Wolski, he did himself proud. That's a very, very, very solid starting point. And the thing is, Jose was just a lot better conditioned. He was a lot better conditioned than Joan. Joan from the back, he needs to harden up. I wouldn't mind seeing Joan do a couple more shows this season and try and get a little bit tighter, because he's got a really, really good shape and he's got every single body part. He's not missing anything, and he looks good in every pose.
And you have a few shows coming up in Europe where he doesn't have to diet that much longer. He doesn't have to travel that far. If I were him, I would absolutely do it. Just get the stage time, get some experience, learn your body a little bit better. Why not?
But he's, I think, because the thing is, they all want to do Portugal because of that stage.
Oh, really?
The revolving stage that comes up through the ground. Christian Wolski said he said, I'm doing Portugal. He says, yeah, I said, tell me, is it because of the stage? And he went, and he laughed. He said, yes. That was, I took Estorilla, what's it called, the venue called? Joe Henrique, the promoter, when I took Brandon Curry there in 2020, he took us to the venue and we were all doing selfies outside the venue. That's where they film Casino Royale, and that's where they have the revolving stage that comes through the ground. It comes up on hydraulics. Oh, I think you got to, that in itself will draw the competitors.
Dude, every show should have that. Let's see.
Like a rotisserie chickens.
Rotisserie. It's my son. Well, you wouldn't know. You don't know Costco, Giles, but my son works, when he comes back, he's going back to work. He does rotisserie chickens at Costco near us. And his record is 500 chickens in one day he's cooked.
Wow.
Yeah.
Impressive.
And people, it's never enough. The people always want more chickens because it's a scam It's not a scam. It's a bargain. They give you a whole cooked seasoned chicken for $5. It's like this big.
Wow.
And that's how they get you in the store. Well, I'm just going to come in and get a chicken, but then you see this, oh, I'll buy that, I'll buy that. But yeah, Costco chicken. You guys know, you guys in America know all about the Costco chickens. Let's see. Mark says, I was afraid KRIZO would become another Gary Stridham, awesome from the front, but lackluster from the back. I kind of had that. I was kind of concerned about that last year too, but look what he did in 1 year, this guy.
Hang on. I mean, I was there on stage when I took that video. I've got it on my phone where Steve Weinberger went up on stage and everyone, you know, he wanted this picture with KRIZO. I had a picture with KRIZO as well. Yep. And as I walked around the back of them and he said, he put his arm around him, had his photo, and he says, Michael, make sure you fill that back out, okay? But do you know what, though? I mean, yes, the conditioning wasn't quite pin sharp from the back like it was for this show, but I actually thought his back was pretty good even last year. I didn't think it was like, I remember when we saw that footage came through from when he turned pro at the Amateur Olympia, and we got that, and he finally turned to the back, because I don't think any of us had seen, it was like seeing Arnold doing a rear lat spread. You never seem to see pictures or videos ever of that person in that pose. And I was thinking, oh no, he's going to turn to the back and it's going to be like Gary Stridham, 1988 Olympia. And he turned to the back and I said, actually, his back's bloody good. He just needs to get harder.
Yeah. You're right. He never posted any back shots last year. Yeah. Not one.
Yeah.
And when people do that, you're like, what is he hiding? Like when Rami had all those progress pictures with the long basketball shorts on, like, what's going on with Rami's legs? Why is he covering up his legs? And at that point, he had a big hole in each leg. So that's what he was covering up. Let's see, probably the next few years, KRIZO will win the Olympia title, maybe. Ron was the first you guys to interview with KRIZO and his coach. Any chance of a post-show interview? Well, not today, but yeah, let me talk to him and see what I can get going. Why not? Yeah, we had a great translator from what's his sponsors at SciTech?
Who?
KRIZO. Who's his sponsor?
Oh yeah, KRIZO. Yeah,
SciTech. Yeah. So there was a young man in the interview. We had his coach on one side, KRIZO was in the middle, and then someone from SciTech, a younger guy, was translating. He did a pretty good job. So yeah, I'll contact him.
You know, though, at the after party back at the owner's house of the EVLS show, I had a conversation with KRIZO face to face, and he understood what I said, and he talked back to me. He does speak some English. He's like I said, we have Mass 212, and says, I need a translator, and then you think, well, hang on a minute, you speak pretty good English. Because I had a sort of quiet chat with KRIZO about his tan. And I said, mate, you need to do, I said, because your arms are so big. I said, they brush against your lats and then all the tan comes off your lats. I said, your arms are too bloody big. And he laughed and he said, yes, I know. He does speak English. I think another 6 months and you could do a proper interview with him face to face or on Skype, on Zoom or something. And I think he'd be able to do it by himself.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. I love that because, you know, my Slovakian is a little rusty. Gosh darn word of Slovakian. Let's see, KRIZO, I think for a few years, Ron's first. See if we got anything else. No offense, Andrew would smoke KRIZO. Should have smoked. Oh, you already read that.
Would he?
You already read that. Like,
would he?
Yeah, well, you know, like, I'm glad these guys have such diehard fans that they really believe. You know, KRIZO fans will think KRIZO would smoke Andrew. Andrew fans will think Andrew would. And opposite, that's great. You know, it's good to have differing opinions and everyone's got their favorites. It makes it exciting. If we all like the same couple guys and we hated everyone else, it'd be a terrible sport.
I mean, it depends on how Andrew Jack looks at the Tampa in Texas, which he's rumored to do. But it'd be interesting, actually. It would be interesting to sort of raise that conversation, I think, because and I'm very, very excited about seeing them. That's something I'm going to try and really hype up now over these next few months to see how, you know, they'll compare up against each other at the Olympia. I'm really excited to see that.
Someone asked, Mr. Manuel 23 says, I'd like to see Andrew with a 1 year out bulking. So he wants to see him take a whole year off season. I believe he can be a lot better than doing less months of bulk. I don't know if he needs a whole year. Then he's going to be gone from the stage for a full year. So we don't want that either.
Yeah.
No. Josema, do you think Josema has a good future? Yeah, I think so.
Oh my God, 21, and he just took 4th place in a show like this. I think it's safe to say this kid has a very, very good future. And I think honestly, he's like, if you look at his Instagram, you look at some of the pictures he has done, he's as marketable as a really like pretty boy men's physique, and he's an open bodybuilder. So, and I think we need more guys like that, you know, because, you know, otherwise it's going to go to all the sponsorships are going to go to the pretty boy classics and the men's physique, you know, with the lovely hair and everything. But this kid, you know, he's a good looking dude and he's very aesthetic. He's got beautiful physique. I mean, he could, he's got a great future. Fantastic.
See, so KRIZO needs to get a real tan and stop being completely dependent on tanning oil. He might not be able to get a tan. Not everybody can tan.
No, you'll just go red.
I mean, I've said this before. Dennis Wolf was somebody who I spoke about it with him years ago, and he said he's never had any kind of a tan in his life. No matter what he does, all the methods of exposure to the sun, he always burns. So some people can't tan.
And Ron, bear in mind, this is a guy that lives in Las Vegas and has an outdoor gym.
That's right.
So if he's training all these people and he's got an outdoor gym and he hasn't got a tan, he ain't gonna tan on the freaking sun. If he's on the surface of the sun, he is not going to get a tan.
He must go through so much sunblock living out there.
Yeah. Probably got a sponsor.
How would you rate KRIZO's posing today? What's out of 5 stars? How many stars would you give him, Giles?
Sorry, what?
How would you rate KRIZO's posing? And then I said to you, let's give it a 5.
It's a 2 or a 3, but the thing is that can be easily fixed. Look what he's done with his conditioning, his tanning in just 6 months. So I think he just needs someone to go through. Basically, I love the way Nick Walker poses in the compulsories. The way he goes into the pose, he holds it. He doesn't hit 10 different variations of the same pose because he's twitching. He holds his pose and goes, boom, this is my best pose. Holds it until everyone else, and then slowly goes into the next one. I think KRIZO needs to, like I said, all the looking down and the not holding the pose for long enough. It looks really amateurish, but that's something that can be really, really fixed. But tell you what, though, his posing routine was really good.
I mean,
his compulsories need work. His prejudging posing definitely needs work. Or even like Dorian Yates, the way he used to go into his pose with confidence and hold it, and just that's what he needs to get like now, because he's the way like Lee Haney used to pose, the way he used to go into the pose, and it was just majestic, So that's something he can definitely improve on.
That's the easiest fix of all. It's not like you're bringing up a body part. Oh no, that might not happen when you have a weak body part. Or conditioning. Some people never get their conditioning right, but anybody can become a better poser if they really just put the effort in and get someone to work with them who can help them fix little things they're doing incorrectly that they could be doing. Milos would be great.
I'd love to see Milos or Jay Cutler, because he went out there last year, didn't he? Went out there to see them, and I mean, an hour with Milos would benefit him unbelievably, and I'm sure Milos would love to do it if he could get some footage for his Instagram. Of
course, or he's got a YouTube channel too.
Yeah. Be a good video.
I don't know if we want to talk about Blessing Chicago Pro, guys. We're way far away from that. And Hunter and Andrew going head to head at Texas Pro. Yeah, we'll talk more about that in the weeks coming up, guys. Right now we're going to stay on topic with the Empro Pro Classic Alicante, Spain, which wrapped up.
Nice to us Europeans, man. Come on.
Yeah, come on. Let the Europeans have their one day, guys. Come on.
Ron, in terms of the production of this show, I mean, I've been to Milo shows. And every time you go, you walk out there and you're like, oh my God, that was just an incredible experience from start to finish. And watching this live stream today, Emilio and his team have taken it again to another level of production. I mean, honestly, I hope one day you manage to get to one of Emilio's shows, because they are absolutely spectacular. And he's been promoting since 2018 now, since the split. And don't forget, that's on Rafael Santoyo's turf as well.
Yeah,
so he's had all that to contend against, and what he's done. I think this was the best show he's ever put on, and to be honest, I honestly think now, I think he's probably one of the top 3 promoters in the world.
Wow.
For bodybuilding.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been to a show in person, but just the staging, the lighting, you can see the production value in these shows, and some other promoters could take a lesson from Emilio.
And you know that he's got his own tan.
His own tan? What tanning company?
Top Tan, that's his company. He's got his own cheap meal company. He's got Empro Clothing. He's got the gym. He does all the, the medals, and he makes medals for other promoters as well. He's got the machines.
Yeah, everybody got a nice big giant medal of that.
He's got a fantastic DJ called David Catena, who does he's like professional DJ. He's got Jonathan Morio, one of the best photographers and videographers in the industry. I mean, everyone's the best of everyone. And he has the same team every single time. I mean, it's just, honestly, partly, part of me wants to move over there just so I can work with him.
Oh, you got to move to the U.S. Don't even think about moving there. How dare you?
Consideration.
And when they have you doing the live stream, they have the best live stream commentator.
Oh, stop!
Come on now. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, let's wrap it up, guys. So once again, let's go through. Top 5 was KRIZO, Michael KRIZO, Andrea Presti from Italy in second, sensational guy from Brazil, Wellington Fernando Baptista, known as Nescau, in third place, 21-year-old Jose Manuel Muniz, who they're calling Josema, fourth place. Fifth place, Roman Fritz from Germany. Great job from all the competitors. Great job, Emilio Martinez and his whole crew putting on a spectacular event today. Got a little bit of a late start, but it's okay. It's wrapped up. It was wrapped up completely by like 1:30 in the U.S. p.m. So that's pretty amazing. And yeah, so that's it, guys. We appreciate you watching. We appreciate all of you who took part in the live chat. We like going back and forth with you guys. That's why we do the live chat. And congratulations to Michael KRIZO, all the improvements he made, and he's got his Olympia qualification all sealed up tight. And a couple of these other guys in the lineup probably going to get it as the season goes on. So I'll give the final word to Giles Tiger Thomas, as I like to do.
Well, it's official. Summer's ended. It's pissing down.
Summer's ended. It hasn't even started officially.
That's it. We had a good run. We had at least 5 days. Okay,
fair enough. Yeah, you can't count on the weather. All right. Well, that is it, guys. MD's coverage of the Empro Spain show from Alicante, Spain. Thanks for watching, and we will see you right here next time on Muscular Development.